I wasn't really considering the result of the game. What I'm basically up for is the manner in which the players would have expressed themselves. It is not our strongest 11, and of course, we probably may come up short in some aspects, but I expect them to give up their best.
The next game tonight at the doubleheader sees your next opponent playing that game. Is it the best thing that could happen to you apart from you playing in that game?
Well, it's about time somebody else encounters what I would have experienced over the last 2 weeks, I know they will manage themselves, but then again, that is not my concern. I will do what is necessary to ensure that my players are prepared for that game on Monday.
Coach Thomas, no trophies on offer for you this season. With a much rotated squad we expected from Harbour, how much do you want to win this game?
We would have been coming off a pretty tough time. We played Harbour would have done the same. We played 4 in 10 days, and it was really, really grueling, really, really rough. But it means a lot. It's important for us to of course end on a high note. We do have the club championship coming up, and we're looking at reorganizing and going again. So it's important for us to end on a really, really high note.
Dunbeholden did say last time they don't have a big squad to rotate, so we expect a strong squad from them. And Harbour rotating, does that make you big favourites today?
Not necessarily, because we have probably about 6 or 5 players out, injuries, cards and stuff like that. Christian and a couple others. So we're down to some of the youngsters, so we will see what they're made of.
Final game of the season. When you look back at it, what is it that you feel Dunbeholden needs to really challenge come next season?
At the beginning of the season, we lost some of our key players, core players. We lost Fabian McCarthy to a fractured leg, and so that would have taken a lot of quality away from us. They were our core players, and if you ask me, I think we did extremely well getting back to the top 6 and getting here in our semi-finals. Now looking at 3rd and 4th playoff. That's good, and for us it is looking at some youngsters, looking at what we have and how we can now recruit some other youngsters and then move forward.
Rotation is expected, but still important for these coaches to finish on a positive note. There is something at stake in terms of the purse for 3rd place and 4th place. We take a break. When we come back, we continue our build-up to Harbour against Dunbeholden, 3rd place playoff in the Lynk Cup. Awesome views here of Kingston and St Andrew in Jamaica here. Sabina Park is what we're looking at, and it's not yet time for the lights, but the atmosphere is set for the 3rd place playoff. Harbour 5-time champions The team that has won this competition the most, the All-Ireland knockout competition against Dunbeholden. And this for third place. $1,050,000 for the winner of this game, $800,000 for the fourth place finisher in the Lynk Cup. Romain Brackenridge, the player to watch for at Harbourview. Big defender, did score in the 2-1 win against the Chapelton Maroons in the quarter-final second leg. And he is in the starting lineup today. Experienced player, been around a long time, Romain Brackenridge. And yeah, important for Harbourview, as we said, to finish this competition on a positive, even though they still have the Jamaica Premier League to look forward to. And Romain Brackenridge has seen it all. Player to watch in the centre-back position for Harbourview. At the opposite end of the park, the player to watch for Dunbeholden, Peter McGregor. Such a standout player used for them last year when they went all the way to the final, where Harbourview, who they meet today, beat them in that final. Peter McGregor did score 8 goals in that season. He has scored 1 so far in the Lynk Cup. It came against Treasure Beach in the round of 16 in that 4-1 win. Peter McGregor had good chances as well in the quarter-final round, we do remember. And yeah, against Tivoli Gardens, where they had to win from the penalty spot, Peter McGregor, and he will be a big deal for them today. Can he resurrect his season and his team and get a positive result this afternoon? Jermaine Thomas is setting up. I'm here, of course, with Dwight Jeremiah. Dwight, what was the mood like during your interviews? Of course, I mean, it looked like both coaches were playing it down a bit. We know the importance of getting a result to end the season, especially from a Dunbeholden perspective.
Yeah, I think both coaches were just trying to find means to motivate their players to really put in a good show. I mean, they often say third and fourth games are games that persons don't really want to have to play because they would prefer to be in the showpiece event. But for Harbourview, pretty much as Coach Bernard says, just trying to use it to get his squad players to get sharp and to feel like if they do well here, then they can get a place in the starting lineup for the first leg of the semi-finals. So he wants to have a squad that is sharp enough, running right throughout. So he's using this game for that. For Dunbeholden, yes, it's going out on a high. It's consolation for them. There's no trophy for them to win. So this is really a consolation game for them to try and just get a decent result. Bemoaning the fact that they lost a lot of players and feeling that they did well enough to get into a quarter-final and also semi-finals of the knockout. So they're feeling like it's a good platform for them to then go on and strengthen their squad over the off-season and come back even stronger next season. So for both teams, different reasons to want to do well today, but in the end, that should make for a good spectacle.
Let me choose one perspective. $250,000 difference between third and fourth. How much is that? How much does that play on the mind? How important is that from a club perspective? It's not the most affluent of leagues generally.
I must say, I will not say which of the team, but a little birdie said to me, you know, one of the coaches said, you know, I don't want to play this game, and then he said, you know what, you're playing for $250,000, and he says, you know what, let's play. You know? So yeah, for sure, it is a motivation,
and that is the biggest motivating factor. You
more
think
likely, because there's always stuff to offset financially. You know, we will always cry that this league will want more, and more can be pumped into it. So any cash would help to offset stuff. So yeah, that's another big reason. That's common for these two teams. That is one common motivating factor for both these two teams to want to go out there and win today. For Harbourview, you feel they also don't want to go into the semi-final of the Jamaica Premier League on the back of a loss, because for motivational, moral reasons as well, they want to keep the spirit high. And for Coach Bernard, that's something that he says the result for him was not so significant, but I really feel it is, because he does want to keep the morale of his players high. And you could see where he probably might introduce a player or two that you expect to feature in that semi-final if they're losing this game.
Yeah, from a Dunbeholden perspective, obviously, as you said, this is their last game of the season because they fell on Monday in the semi-finals, obviously, in the quarter-final round of the Jamaica Premier League. But from a Harbourview perspective, yes, I hear you want to keep the rhythm of winning, but also rotation and management of the squad, as we see Ludlow Bernard and the Harbourview camp, so important, which he did allude to, because that is the biggest thing. Not only do you don't want to go into Monday's fixture on the back of a loss, but you don't want to go in tired either.
No, for sure. He knows it's a very thin line in terms of managing the squad. It doesn't have the biggest of squad, but does have quality in the squad. So you expect any Harbourview 11 going out there to be good, but you're sure. It is the main course, the Jamaica Premier League for them now. It is the semi-final. It's the one chance of winning a trophy. So I'm pretty sure for him, it's the main course, the Premier League. He'd want to get this win, get the $250,000, get his players to do well. But certainly, it's down to firmly as high as you feel. No much of a split vision here for Harbourview. They're firmly focused on the semi-final to come on Monday.
Well, yeah, we just got a glimpse of the starting lineups as well, and you can see already that Harbourview, quite a few changes. Romain Brackenridge will wear the captain's armband as a senior defender in the lineup, but yeah, you could see there as well Romario Palmer, the goalkeeper, coming in, so that in itself is a change. And as we look at it, there's no Colorado Moore in the starting lineup, who is coming back from injury. You want to give him as much time as possible to get this thing rolling for the semi-finals. So
yeah, you're going to get him sharp, but also it's Staple there. They're in the squad, Krista J. Daly in the squad, so he still has players in the squad in the event that he made. On the bench, yes. But also, he knows Cavalier is in a final match, and they're going to want to win it.
One day, one goal, peace is a word going around the island of Jamaica. And an important message being sent out from Lynk in their competition, and just generally across the football landscape of this English-speaking Caribbean island. Here we go, Dunbeholden against Harbourview. A repeat of the 2022 Jamaica Premier League final. That one came down to penalties, with Harbourview coming out the victor. What will happen today? Do we need a penalty shootout? Will it be regulation time? Harbourview did the double over Dunbeholden in the season, 2-0 and 4-1 victories respectively. Can the team from Portmore, Dunbeholden, make a difference? The jerseys are exciting. The stadium is excited. We are anxious for kickoff. Let's see what will happen as the teams go through the greeting. As you said, Dwight, not the kind of fixture you generally want to play. You want to be challenging for top honours, but with the financial reward, and as you said, the need for consistency from the blue and yellow, still enough in this game to keep the interest peaked.
Very much so, and Coach Bernard will want his if you want to, for want of a better word, his reserve charges to really do the job today, because he has one eye set on the final. You see the referees here,
Andrew Hayden, Keneal Wright, Garvin Carvalho and Andre Farquharson, the officials. So Andre Hayden, the man in the middle, Ricardo Thomas, as well as Romain Brackenridge, the skippers. Dunbeholden, they can obviously go all out. There's no need to tinker with their squad.
No, not at all.
They will want to give some exposure to, as you said, some of their young players as well.
For sure. But like I was saying, to close out that point, Harbourview knows Cavalier, their opponent, on Monday will be in the final. Big game for them, and they'll extend themselves.
This is how Harbourview will line up. It will be 4-3-3. Palmer between the sticks, as we said. Brackenridge, the captain. Gavin Burton being brought in. Shamari Dyer, the long-time experienced midfielder. Jay Jamieson, DeJuan Green, Kasim Priestley, Sean Daly, who has scored a couple of goals in the Lynk Cup already. Jamon Shepherd, Timar Lewis, who has had a good season goal scoring wise, and Kimar Mullins comes in as well. They're coached by Ludlow Bernard. Quite a few changes, right?
Yeah, lots of changes from what we saw in that final leg of the quarter-final of the Jamaica Premier League. And as we had lamented so far and laboured that point, is because he has his eyes firmly set on that first semi-final coming up on Monday. So lots of changes, young players and players that he wants to get into form for that semi-final.
Well, no changes between the sticks for Dunbeholden. They still have Damien Hyatt, the two-time Premier League champion, between there. Siobhan James, Chevoy Watkin, Devontae Hodges, O'Dane Samuels, Tyrese Gow comes into the starting lineup, the exciting young winger. Ricardo Thomas, the captain. Shaquem Powell, Malachi Douglas, the Clarendon College skipper and MVP of schoolboy football. Peter McGregor, who is our player to watch, and Stephen Barnett, their leading goal scorer this season.
Yeah, we know Christian was injured in the last outing in the Jamaica Premier League, but as they said, Dunbeholden don't have a deep squad, so the rotation not as much as Harbourview, but persons like McGregor will be happy to get a starting place today, and he'll want to do well in this game.
With McGregor being brought in, they have reverted now to a 4-4-2 formation. 2 players up front in Barnett and McGregor, and that should be interesting as well. This was a formation that they used basically all of last season when they had a Tafarai Bygrave and Peter McGregor, that the goal scoring. Well, they were the best pairing up front in the Premier League last season, 8 and 13 respectively, so 21 goals between the two. And yeah, going back to that formation.
And that we didn't see, again, Dean Andre Thomas not in the squad today, and was missing from the last game as well. And we're on our way here, Dunbeholden, they get us on our way.
Yeah, Dunbeholden, white predominantly with red and blue, a red and blue design involved. Harbourview in their blue and yellow. I must say this season the kit designers have done a really good job. Exciting stuff. In the Lynk Cup, I have rathered how they have done their number design.
That's what I was going to go to.
It's been difficult at times in the Premier League with the numbers.
Yeah, it's
but
hard to see.
The kits have been beautiful.
Yeah, especially the Lynk Cup. I think it's really exciting. And they've gotten an
nice
A
designs
for their work.
Oh yeah, for sure. Good to see, always pleasing on TV. Harbourview into the semi-final of the Jamaica Premier League after getting by Humble Lion in the playoffs, the quarter-final playoffs. Dunbeholden not so lucky, falling short.
Yeah, and Harbourview, well, both these two teams fell short of the showpiece event to come later in our doubleheader because both Cavalier and in that upcoming game, Cavalier and Portmore got the better of these two teams.
Yeah, Portmore defeating them on penalties in the end. Harbourview
on penalties,
and Cavalier with a thumping win.
Pretty close in the first leg, 1-0, but 3-0 in the second.
Yeah. Over Dunbeholden.
And I guess it was Dunbeholden. They would have had a full 3 days to recover here, but with a small squad, you felt they felt the brunt of those close fixtures over the run of 11 days, playing 4 games.
Ludlow Bernard has been good in knockout stages, yet albeit at the high school level, won a couple titles, the Walker Cup with Woolmers, then won with Kingston College, the Champions Cup, as well as the Walker Cup with the Purples. So even though that is at the high school level, as you say, he does enjoy knockout football, and when he came into the playoffs in the Jamaica Premier League, it is a knockout as well last year. Finished in 6th, but yeah,
and doing well again.
Right.
He did lament when he was told that Harbourview is the winningest team in the knockouts in the national knockout competition. He says, well, I haven't won any for them yet, so yeah. Still on the drought because he's playing here in the 3rd and 4th playoff.
Correct. Yeah, they will fall short this year, but 5 titles, the most of any team. Portmore next with 3.
With the possibility or the opportunity to make it 4. But that's all to come later. These two teams for sure will want to, as I say, for Dunbeholden, end the season on a high. For Harbourview, going to the semi-final with morals high, coming off a good win here, knowing as well too that it is a much rotated squad or team that they have out there. So if these boys can do the job, persons like Timar Lewis, Coach Bernard looking at him, wanting him to sharpen up, and for the other players to really make themselves an option for him in those those semi-finals.
Yeah, Reno, the other team that have 3 titles along with Portmore. In fact, the last winners of this tournament in 2014 were Reno, not involved at the highest level, so obviously not an opportunity to defend their title at all. But yeah, 2014 at that point, called the Flow All Island Champions Cup, and Reno were the winners there. defeating Montego Bay United by 4-3 in that one. It's great to have All-Ireland knockout football back, and the Lynk Cup has been very exciting through its 32 table draw.
Yeah, I think the one thing that I used to like about the All-Ireland knockout is that it allowed also not just the Tier 2 and the Premier League, I guess because of the stage where this came in and because we're fresh out of COVID and some parishes weren't playing, but back then with the All-Ireland, the parish champions would have come up into the competition, getting a chance to rub shoulders with the big boys. I got an opportunity about 3 times. I got an opportunity with my major league club to play in the All-Ireland knockout as well. Yeah. So glad to see it back, and hopefully it will expand into that similar format.
Of course, the Tier 2 teams involved, which does have parish champions as well, of course.
Yeah.
The best of them.
The best of them.
So, yeah, Tier 2 football actually going on now as well. It's the new format, Tier 2, representing what some persons might also call the championship. So the second level in the country, behind the Premier League. The clubs represented in the Lynk Cup were based on their performances last season, though.
Yeah, pretty much where they finished in that Tier 2. So Jeremy and Thomas back on the bench. Wasn't on the bench in the quarterfinal second leg against Mount Pleasant. He was away with a youth team in Miami.
Yeah. And there's a foul on the play. Andrew Hayden blowing the whistle. O'Dane Samuels brought down. Just about 6 minutes gone. And so far, yeah, the players somewhat represented the third and fourth playoff. The highest of energies thus far. And Dunbeholden with the possession.
And if we go a little bit back in terms of why these two teams are here from at least the quarterfinal stage, Portmore, they got past Malines and then they faced Harbour View. Harbour View being here now because they lost out to Portmore, but they faced Harbour View Chapelton in the quarterfinal round and lost out to Portmore. That's why they're playing the third and fourth here for Dunbeholden. They would have gotten
free kick here into the area for Dunbeholden, and it's cleared.
Yeah,
you could go even further back though, because Harbour View did get the better of Falmouth in the round of 16, which is where it all started for Harbour View.
Yeah.
A 4-0 victory against Falmouth.
It's 4-1.
4-1.
Yeah.
A Tier 2 team in Falmouth. So, in fact, they're just one of 2 Tier 2 teams.
I was being deliberate not to mention that because I'm from Falmouth, and it was bad.
That's why I had to remind you. But yeah, that's where it started for Harbour View. Dunbeholden, they got the better of Treasure Beach in the round of 16 by a similar scoreline at 4-1. So as you said, that leading into the quarter-final stage, and then at the quarter-final stage it became two-legged.
Yeah.
From there on, here's a strike on goal. Good save from Hyatt. Did look a bit awkward, and then it's cleared by Samuels.
He was dipping just in front of Hyatt. Was a first real action of the half.
Good kick that was. Nice strike coming in from Gavin Burton. And there was swerve, there was dip on it as well. And he got all of his big frame behind it, Damien Hyatt. Palmer being given goalkeeping duties in this playoff. An opportunity for him, Romario Palmer. Big chance for him to prove his worth as well. Has had some minutes in the season, but not a lot.
Yeah, I think he played in the first leg of the quarterfinals of the Jamaica Premier League for Harbour View as well. Bennett came back into the semi-final, second leg in the Lynk Cup against Portmore, and then was brought in for the second leg of the Premier League.
Kick into the area, it's broken down. Yeah, Palmer, 25 years of age now, so been around for a bit, has always played with Harbourview. Nice ball over the top, good overlapping run into the area. Good defending, wasn't that from Chavoy Watkin, who is fouled in the end. Chavoy Watkin, who played for Portmore last season, had a really good 2022. Their number 18, one of the best centre-backs in the country, has had a bit of an inconsistent season, you'd have to say. Did get injured, and since getting injured a couple of months ago, his return hasn't been as smooth. But he does have quite a bit of quality about him, the hard tackling centre-back.
And it's never easy when players get injuries that keep them out for a while. When they come back, it does take a while for them to get back up to speed, even the best of the best at the highest level.
Thomas looking for McGregor inside the area, and Palmer easy with it.
Not a really fast-paced game that we're witnessing here.
As expected.
Yeah. Harbourview much changed, Dunbeholden with much distance in their legs.
Here's Powell, who's played most of the minutes for the entire 2023 season. Shaquem Powell, especially with Fabian McCarthy being out, and taking up most of the role in that defensive midfield position. Shaquem Powell, when McCarthy was in, he was allowed to venture a little bit more forward, and actually got a couple goals as well, did Shaquem Powell, in the season that being. Here go Dunbeholden. Thomas into the air, good delivery, head on target from McGregor, but no power behind it, and Palmer gathers easily. There's the Dunbeholden bench. Jermaine Thomas, Ricardo Smith beside him, the assistant coach as well, who did most of the talking last season, where they went all the way to the final. Ricardo Smith, far side of Jermaine Thomas, was a good wing back in his time too, did play with Harbourview and more with Arnett Gardens.
Yeah, he was pretty much the one doing a lot of the talking.
He had
too,
great
as well.
energy as a player.
Yeah, definitely.
It's Smith, yeah.
Just looking to share that experience with the players here, especially those young ones.
Yeah, this is the first season for Jermaine Thomas, one of those coaches who overlap in schoolboy football as well, inside the area, and needed a better delivery there.
Yeah, Jermaine Thomas with McGrath in schoolboy football.
That's one of the youngsters in green who has been brought into the starting lineup. The Juan Green for Harbourview, there, number 15. Had so much space there, he didn't really need to rush the pass. In fact, he could have probably even cut in and let fly.
Yeah, for sure.
So much
that
time.
Is why, getting game time is so important for the young players.
Corner for Harbourview, to the near post, good delivery, flicked on, and Dunbeholden gets it away for now, and yeah, still not clear.
Yeah, it was Sean Daly with that flick on.
Lewis into the area now. Header is won. There is a tackle inside from Hodges on Brackenridge, and Hayden says nothing in it. Still 0-0 after 13 minutes in this third place playoff. $250,000 at stake. $1,050,000 for third place. $800,000 for the fourth.
Chance for Harbourview to do the triple over Dunbeholden, and Dunbeholden just to get their first win of the season over Harbourview in this one.
This was the penalty shot, Brackenridge here, and well, Hodges did try to pull himself away. I don't think there was much in that from Hodges.
Well, nothing in it at all, I think.
Bustling defender, especially at the schoolboy level. Part of that Clarendon College winning team in the Da Costa Cup and Olivia Shield. Devontae Hodges was also part of the All Da Costa team.
Had a very good season.
Yeah.
And I guess
wins a lot of tackles.
Clarendon College had a good season as well, winning as much as they did.
Young Devontae Hodges has got quite a bit of game time this season. Hasn't been a permanent fixture in the starting 11, but
I did start in there,
and he's done pretty well. Did start in the quarterfinal leg,
second leg,
second leg, and had a pretty good
player
game as well.
That is trusted by the coaching staff somewhat at Dunbeholden.
More and more.
Yeah,
right.
And will do well for him this season in the top flight here.
Ricardo Thomas into the area yet again. It's not a bad delivery, but Harbourview back in numbers, and they get it clear. Chance to break. If we're all square after 90 minutes, we do have extra time as well, 30 minutes of it, and if needed, penalties. Never won trophies at the senior level, Dunbeholden. Finalists in the Premier League last year. And now a deep run in the knockout competition, a chance to come third, so still no opportunity for a title, but still it just proves how much this Portmore-based team has improved.
Significantly, if you look at it, and then if you put everything into perspective, just after this play.
Thomas, nice ball wide.
I was saying, if you put everything into perspective, just Dunbeholden losing a lot of players to Mount Pleasant, also losing McCarthy to injury. Pretty much one of the best holding midfielders in the country as well. You want to think, in the context of all of that, they really did well.
Yeah, there was a mass exodus of Dunbeholden players at the end of last season. A bit, I mean, maybe for some quite surprising, but then you look and you say, well, you know, most of them moving on to Mount Pleasant,
along with their sporting director.
Probably a bigger club, more opportunities, especially financially for them, and their sporting director also making moves as some defensive work for Dyer. Clearance down the middle, not necessarily something you would coach, but it works out for them. And that's a foul. Not sure what was happening between Powell and was it Samuels there in the defense line. Miscommunication. James actually.
Yeah, let Shepherd in.
And then, yeah, and gave up a foul.
Shepherd was second best to win it. I think he got there because Dunbeholden just lost their bearings.
Yeah, Chevron James and Shaquem Powell, that was poor. So a free kick now for Harbourview. 17 minutes gone. Still really waiting for this game to come alive in the third place playoff of the Lynk Cup. Priestley into the area, and that's overplayed by Priestley. Disappointing delivery from the Harbourview midfielder. Represented Jamaica at the under-20 level, Kasim Priestley. Here's Peter McGregor. Has had the only chance on target so far for Dunbeholden. Here they go again, and that's, yeah, a poor decision from Tyrese Gow. Exciting winger, Tyrese Gow, making the transfer from Mount Pleasant to Dunbeholden. So one of those players with the reverse transfer.
Not enough coming the other way for Dunbeholden for them to really have a good sizable squad. But yeah, Gow is, for the most time I've seen Gow play, is really shown that he has quality about him and is continuing to develop.
Enough, though, eh?
Yeah. Not with the consistency. You feel he has what it takes in terms of talent to really force a way into this Dunbeholden side more often.
Powell trying to force that in. Block comes out now to Shepherd. And Harbourview, how quick can they transition? No, Shane Staple today to make those big overlapping runs, but that pass is pretty good into Mullins, and yeah, was allowed to get around Hodges there. He wouldn't be happy about that. Mullins couldn't keep it in, but just signed off before the ball actually went out of play.
Yeah, not following through with the play there. Ending up getting away with it, but yeah, I want to stay switched on here. Again, Hodges just dwelling on it and then losing out. Bit lucky there, getting away with that one. But was indecisive in his play just now, Hodges.
Free kick Dunbeholden, 20 minutes gone. Still looking for the first goal. This game needing more 18-yard action. As we said, these games always struggle to bring the intensity that we'd like to see. Harbourview with the majority of the possession, but they haven't really done much with it.
Yeah, just that one shot we saw from distance, dipping in front. Yeah.
But yeah, none of those quick transition plays, but maybe understandable based on the starting lineup. As we said, no Staple on one side of things, no Odell Harding either. So not seeing those pacey runs from the flank areas for Harbourview. Here's Lewis. Shepherd trying to force that through, but doesn't find the target. Here's Shepherd again. And Dunbeholden deal with it easily.
I think that pass from Shepherd needed to be on the ground. You know, that pass in the air was always going to favour the defender. Just needed to break the line with a firm pass. We test the quality of the control of the players that he had at his disposal, but that was certainly the pass he wanted to make. It's a really pedestrian pace here.
Yeah, still yet to see Stephen Barnett in it. Well, I was about to say to get a touch. Well, that's a touch that he didn't want. And over the top, their leading goal scorer this season, Stephen Barnett. 9 goals in the league, a couple in the Lynk Cup for him. Was unable to get on the score sheet in the quarter-final second leg, and it really cost Dunbeholden.
Yeah, even he was substituted early in the second half as well in that game. Coach Harold Thomas and the day didn't like the runs he was, the runs he wasn't making.
Yeah.
In fact, he wasn't making the runs that he wanted, wide open space, wasn't checking it off into those spaces. We see the infringement here, really clumsy there.
Free kick, Harbourview. Chefoy Watkin committing that one.
One of those defenders that we don't normally associate being clumsy with. He's been a good defender.
Tamara Lewis will take this one.
He's certainly a player that Coach Bernard has his both eyes on, wanting to see him do well. He feels that Lewis, if he's on his game, is a real threat for Harbourview when he plays. Wants to sharpen him up for that semi-final.
Here's Lewis, way over the top. Has scored against Dunbeholden already.
Yeah, nothing sharp about that.
Yeah.
Something an official water break, it would seem.
So we've seen 23 minutes. Just quarter way through this one. Harbourview 0, Dunbeholden 0 in this third place playoff. More to come, of course, as well, with Portmore coming up against Cavalier in the final. Portmore a chance to win their 4th title. Cavalier still looking for their 1st in All-Ireland knockout football. It's been a pretty dull start to this one, maybe as expected, you would say, in this kind of playoff. Harold Thomas, what can he come with in terms of inspiration for this Dunbeholden team? Knocked out of the Jamaica Premier League after their quarter-final loss to Mount Pleasant. Can they leave with $250,000 more than Harbour View? $1,050,000 for the winner. Ludlow Bernard, still a lot to his season. He is in the semi-finals of the Jamaica Premier League, which comes up just 3 days from now. These are the chances in the game. Gavin Burton with the best of them for Harbour View from some 25 yards out. Good right-footed strike, which Damien Hyatt bundled out. And then this nice build-up play. Ricardo Thomas from the wide area into McGregor, but his header was tame, and Palmer did the job easily.
Yeah, the Burton shot was more threatening than McGregor's header, dipping in front of Hyatt. Always a little bit difficult for goalkeepers. That one from McGregor didn't get the power on it, was always under pressure to execute that header. And so, as you can see, those are the two best chances, probably the two only chances for both goalkeepers to get their glove on the ball from the opposing players. So not enough happening in that final third.
Harbour View, they have had the majority of the possession, just over 53%. Dunbeholden now trying to build something of their own. That header from McCarthy, all they have had to, from McCartney. Or McGregor, sorry. All they've had to show. And we see the first yellow card being shown as well. Into the book is Young Green.
Yeah, pretty late there, Green. Harbour View with a change early here in this game. Priestley coming out.
So just wonder if, well, it's being held back for the moment. That must be due to injury though. Probably will happen after this free kick into the back post area. Not a bad delivery, but there was nobody.
Yeah, coming around, you wanted a curve run, yeah, from the wide areas for that one. But not a bad area to serve up, so.
Now the change will be made,
Roger
and Kasim
Smith.
Priestley, yeah, is the man to come off. And yeah, he must have picked up a knock, Kasim Priestley. We're not seeing any awkwardness to his movement, but Roger Smith has been brought on.
Now in the words with Coach Bernard as he passed him by to probably ask him about that injury, if there is one.
Chance over the top, which Hyatt does well on the counter. And not sure about that defending from Dunbeholden. Lucky to get away with that. And Hyatt producing the save from Kimar Mullins, who was just looking to lob it over him.
Yeah, Hyatt was lobbed in that semi-final game against Cavaliers, so not wanting a repeat of that, was quick off his lines this time around. Lewis asking how often will they grab my shirt for you to give something. And maybe his...
Is it Lewis that was booked there?
No.
So Timar Lewis is booked.
Too much to say. And confirmation there, we're hearing from our producer that Priestley with a hamstring injury. Certainly not what Coach Bernard would have wanted here.
Free kick, Harbour View. Not a good delivery at all. And it's out for a goal kick.
Yeah, Dyer hitting that one too long. Harbour View not as sharp up front, a bit blunt. free kicks or from open play.
All right. So Harbourview with the possession. Correction a few moments ago as well. It wasn't Tamar Lewis who was booked. It was actually Chevoy Watkin, the Dunbeholden number 18, who has gone into the referee's book. Yeah,
because all Tamar Lewis was doing was trying to suggest that this was a repeat action from Watkin, and it's about time he was.
There was a tug from Watkin.
Yeah, and it was blatant. Plus, it was probably a promising attack. It was in the attacking or bordering the attacking third of the field.
All right, here we go with Ricardo Thomas down the right-hand side. Peter McGregor, neither himself or Stephen Barnett have seen much of the ball in this first half an hour.
Dunbeholden number 18, Watkin. Watkin number 18. Dunbeholden, Washington, 20, and
cleared out from Brackenridge, the captain. Not happy with the recovery of his midfielders, and he's certainly letting them know. But a corner nevertheless for Dunbeholden. And even the energy to move to the corner flag. There's no urgency from the captain, Ricardo Thomas. As I say, just both these teams are going through the motions.
Yeah, at the moment for sure, but I think, as I said, Harbourview, even with the players they have out here, they don't want to go into extra time, you don't feel. They'll want it to be dealt with.
Into the area from Thomas. Watkin rising high.
It would be a second corner for Dunbeholden, a second successive corner here for Dunbeholden.
Jameson getting his head onto that one and clearing it out. The Harbourview number 20.
Maybe this game just needs a goal to liven it up, so let's see if we get that from this corner kick here.
Gow will take it into the area towards the back post. Good delivery, but there was a whistle on the play. Foul committed in the box from McGregor. Maybe being a little bit too physical for the likes of referee Hayden. Harbourview free kick. Here go Dunbeholden again. McGregor down the right hand side. Well, that was ambitious to say the least with the left foot. Even if that had been on target, it would have been easy for Palmer. No pace behind it from McGregor. Probably better suited to make a pass there. But yeah, he didn't really have a lot of options, did he? Peter McGregor cutting in onto the left hand side and letting fly. Probably would have been better served going for the far post.
Yeah, far post, yeah, but no qualms with him going at goal, because as you rightfully said, not much option. Not many players were arriving to give him that support, so not a bad move. The intention, yeah, right, maybe the execution in going for the far post would have been better.
So both teams still yet to break down the other. Harbourview with an almost complete change to their starting roster. No surprise, because they have the semi-final in 3-4 days time.
Yeah, 3 days to be exact. I think they play on Monday, Sunday, Monday. So 3 days time they'll be in that semi-finals. First leg against Cavalier.
Here's Tamar Lewis. one of the few regular starters in this team. Let's fly with the left foot off the crossbar. Lovely strike by Timar Lewis. Has already scored 6 times in the season, including a hat-trick. Timar Lewis. Yeah, wasn't far away from a goal in the Lynk Cup. Onto the left foot. Hyatt beaten, but the frame behind him doing its job.
Yeah, lovely strike there. And coming alive, Lewis, much to the liking of Coach Bernard. That's what he wants to see from Lewis. A player that he feels brings a lot to his team.
There was a deflection as well, so it will be a corner.
Watkin not agreeing with the referee on that call.
And Watkin already on a yellow card.
Exactly.
Just needs to be careful here.
Let somebody else do that talking for him. Let somebody argue his case for him.
Into the air from Lewis towards the back post. Good delivery. And Brackenridge getting his head on it, but illegally so. And a free kick the other way.
Something with the Harbourview defenders, when they wear the captain armband, they're a threat in the penalty box. Yeah, just climbing all over Watkin, preventing him from making a jump there to challenge properly. So proper call there from referee. Yeah, that ball just a bit too straight, just needed to come across a bit more. A little bit more diagonal and Harbourview would have been on their way.
Here's a substitute, Smith. Finding Green, and Green just can't get it into the box.
Green adjudged to have been in an offside position by assistant referee Carvalho.
Oh, I'm not sure who was that. That looked like he was playing him on there inside the area.
I think might just looks close. Might have just been leaning a bit. That shoulder would have needed the lines of VAR to really separate that. So saying that it was close.
Close. I'm not sure if Devontae Hodges in the central defensive position was actually playing him on.
Yeah.
There's Hodges, who was not holding the line, was lagging a bit.
Yeah.
And anyhow, as I said, one of those
bailed out by the
close.
flag.
Another card coming out from Hayden. Well,
Chanel Thomas this time.
Ricardo Thomas,
sorry.
Yeah, the captain.
No mistaking that he's the one who picked up this one here.
I see your mind is on the final already. We will see Chanel.
Well, the pace
more than
here
likely
is saying that
Cavalier.
he needs to pick it up here, you know, to excite a little bit more.
Ricardo with the tackle though, and young Dejuan Green brought down. Look at the Dunbeholden bench.
Not much excitement there, enthusiasm there. Pretty much reflecting the pace of the game there. Nothing to really shout about or be excited about. Nothing for the fans at the moment to get excited about.
Yeah. Into the area from Burton. Nice towards the back post. And Chavoy Watkin is there to clear.
Yeah, Timar Lewis was looking to get onto the end of that one. Almost just did. But for the intervention of
Malachi Douglas, dangerous inside the area. I just don't think he should have taken that chance. Go back into his area, having 2 Harbourview players on his heels and looking to be bailed out in the end. So yep, Fabian McCarthy, one of the players that Dunbeholden lost early in the season with a broken leg. Very unfortunate that his season was brought to a close. No Nicoy Christian in the starting lineup today either for Dunbeholden.
He was injured, I think an ankle injury in the second leg of the quarterfinals.
Not sure if it was ankle or might have been knee as well, because
it was a really bad challenge. Yeah, really bad. I think it was Doxley.
Yeah, Melvin Doxley, the St. Lucian, and Nicoy Christian had to be substituted, and
that was like seconds after coming on Doxley.
Yeah.
And there was nothing in the game to suggest that Christian was going away. They were leading 3-0. No need to have made that.
So, unfortunate for Christian, he misses out as well. There's a Harbourview bench.
Some good.
Gar Stewart, Chris Daly on it as well, or Shane Staple, lots of players. There's Kasim Priestley, who was substituted as well with the hamstring
Might have
niggle.
been precautionary as well. Didn't look in in great distress coming off. Yeah, so probably felt a little tweak, and you know, let it know, and you want to deal with that early.
Yeah. Quite a few players being left out. No Ryan Wellington, the team captain, generally, the club captain. Staple not there. Talbot out of the starting lineup. So too Odalyn Harding. So a very changed back line. No Colorado Murray as well up front. So Daly as well. So the usual creators as well missing.
Yeah.
What opportunity for these players?
Yes, Coach Bernard said it will help him to make his mind up as to who to select, but you get the feeling the ones he left out pretty much in it. Somebody would have to really stand out in this game.
But he wants to know who you can depend on as well.
Exactly.
Squad depth always an issue. Here's a chance for Dunbeholden towards the back post. And that was wide.
James, it seems. Siobhan James, it seemed to have gotten his head onto that one, and that was a good opportunity, I felt, at least to get that one on target. Just look from here, under pressure, yes, all the time, but yeah, get that one on target.
So wide from James, and Harbourview getting away with that one.
A lovely play there. Didn't really come off in the end, the final pass to get upfield, but was always under pressure from Ricardo Thomas. But a lovely flick over the head of Thomas there from Green.
Siobhan James will take this long throw into the area, looking for McGregor, who flicks on well. But Shamari Dyer is back to handle things. Mullins looking for the foul. The referee says no, nothing on the play. Brought down was Kemar Mullins, and now he'll get some attention. So still looking for the game's first goal. Just about 4 minutes to go in the first half.
Yeah, I don't think much was in that. Yeah, not at all.
Did tow the ball,
yeah.
Chevoy Watkin. Well, apart from his yellow card and the bit of lip that he was giving Andrew Hayden, the referee, he's had a pretty good game, Watkin. He's actually made some important interceptions in the air, in the 18-yard box, as well as out of it.
Yeah, he's really, and as I said before, he's a quality player, quality defender, so I didn't expect anything less. He doesn't normally lose his duel. One of the telling interception he made was that ball over the top that Timar Lewis was looking to get onto the end of it, and he just snuffed that one out. So yeah, pretty decent game so far.
Break in play. The 5-time champions Harbourview have to settle for third or fourth in this occasion. On this occasion, Harbourview winners in 1993-94 for the first time. This competition, of course, started in 1990, the All-Ireland knockout competition. They then won again in 1997-98 with a 1-0 win over Waterhouse. And then back-to-back 2000, 2001 and 2001-2002 against Wadada and Rivoli United respectively. You remember those two teams? As we see Cavalier, they will play for the prize after this third place match.
There's Lang and Webster side by side.
Still looking for their first All-Ireland title, Cavalier. Still yet to get off the mark in All-Ireland knockout football. But they will be playing against a team who already have 3 titles to their name in Portmore United.
hunting their 4th as well, too, to get closer to Harbourview.
Yeah. Play broken up there. Thomas, and there's a free kick. So another free kick and an opportunity to put the ball into the area from a Dunbeholden perspective. Not the greatest of angles, but still a dangerous position, especially with 2-footed Ricardo Thomas around. So yeah, Harbourview winning titles in 93, they then won in 97, 2000, 2001. And 2000, in fact, it was a three-peat for Harbourview, winning in 2002, 2003 too, when they defeated Hazard United at the time by a goal to nil. Of course, Hazard then changed their name to Portmore soon after.
See if anything can be conjured up from this free kick to see if he can bring this game to life.
Thomas, and a whistle before he actually kicked it, or was it? Well, almost kicking on the tandem of the whistle.
Maybe he was told wait on the whistle. He was quick out the blocks to get that kick off.
Approximately 3 minutes of time to be added. Word coming in from the fourth official. 45 have almost elapsed. Harbourview, can they have one more telling play in this first half? Harbourview, after 2-2 and 1-1 score lines in the semi-finals, they then lost via the penalty shootout against Portmore United.
Yeah, I seem to have almost had that one sewn up. That second leg, we're leading 1-0 for a very long time. Got Stewart a goal in that game and conceded a Stephen Young header late in that one in the 96th minute to send it to penalties.
Good move there by McGregor. Both goals, in fact, were headers. Here is Dunbeholden with an opportunity, and it's snuffed out from Harbourview for the time being. Thomas looking for McGregor. That's a good delivery from Thomas, but McGregor can't control the header, and it's over the top. Dunbeholden, they had a much harder task against Cavalier. The first leg was pretty close, that 1-0 loss, but then they went down by 3-0 in the end.
Yeah.
This is a chance for McGregor, which wasn't even close either.
No, not close at all. His second header of the game, trying to trouble Harbourview's Palmer in goal, but unable to do so this time around. First one was tame, this one over the top, but good delivery from Thomas into the box. Yeah, they were really handled comfortably in the end by Cavalier. 1-0 in the first leg seemingly was close, but then the second leg it was a 3-0 rout.
4-0 on aggregate.
Yeah,
it was overall. The 3 minutes of stoppages have almost been played. Just over a minute to go, and both teams look like they would welcome the half-time break. Not a lot of intensity in this one. Can it come alive now? Chance just over the top. They've had a couple strikes from outside the area, have Harbourview, but they're still yet to penetrate the goal of Damien Hyatt, and it brings a smile on the face of Ludlow Bernard as well.
Yeah, Sean Daly, they're just weaving inside, just as Tamar Lewis had done earlier in this contest. Lewis was closer, hitting the crossbar, but yeah, on that occasion, again, the best of Harbourview's effort coming from their right side, Dunbeholden's left.
Sean Daly, not new to scoring in the Lynk Cup, did score in the game so far. In the 1-1 draw, did get the equaliser against the Chapelton Maroons. You do remember in quarter-final action.
Yeah,
Sean Daly. Was a nice goal where he cut it onto the left foot. Maybe that's why he got the smile of Ludlow Bernard. This one is on target, but it's easily held, and that will be it for the first 45 minutes plus. Harbourview, the 5-time champions, unable to penetrate the defence of Dunbeholden. Harbourview, they have done the double over Dunbeholden in the league. This is a replay of the JPL final of 2022, but so far it's been a 0-0 scoreline. After 45 minutes, Harbourview 0, Dunbeholden 0.
Welcome back to Sabina Park, where we have the Lynk Cup 3rd and 4th place playoff between Harbourview and Dunbeholden. Locked at 0-0 at half time. Nothing much to shout about, but we'll take a look at what highlighted that first 45 stanza in this one. Hayden get us on the way with his whistle here. Harbourview just looking to get on that score sheet early. A shot from distance from Burton, stinging the palm of Hyatt in goal, just dipping in front of him. Always difficult for goalkeepers. In the end, he will tell you that he dealt with it well. And then it was McGregor looking to get on the end of a cross in the box from Thomas. Not much header on that one, and caught easily by Palmer in goal. And it was Dunbeholden looking again to press home their advantage from the early pressure. McGregor cutting inside, and in the end the execution didn't match the intention. Timar Lewis here from the right side of Harbourview, cutting inside and flush on the crossbar. Hyatt was beaten all ends up a little lower, and Harbourview would have been leading this one. And again it was a combination. It was Thomas trying to get that one in a dangerous area, and Dunbeholden couldn't direct that one on goal. Thomas again, this combination coming again, linking up with McGregor. McGregor first time did get it on target, this one over the crossbar, and unable to trouble Palmer in goal. And then it was Sean Daly who doing a Timar Lewis, cutting in from that right side, this time over the top and not troubling Hyatt in goal. We look at the first half statistics in this 3rd and 4th playoff here in the Lynk Cup. 7 shots from Harbourview, 2 on target, 8 from Dunbeholden, just the 1 on target. McGregor's header, you feel 8 fouls committed by Harbourview, just 1 less for Dunbeholden. 2 yellow cards for Dunbeholden, 1 for Harbourview. No red card issued in this one. 1 offside for Harbourview, 2 corners apiece, 1 save for Palmer in goal, 2 for Hyatt from Dunbeholden. Harbourview just edging the possession, 51% to Dunbeholden's 49. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have second half action on the other side.
Lots of action on the home of champions. The Lynk Cup final comes up on SportsMax 2 live tonight at 8 p.m. 9 ECT. It is the three-time champions Portmore United coming up against Cavalier, looking for their first title in the All-Ireland knockout competition. Then we switch to the Jamaica Premier League semi-final first leg on SportsMax 2. That will be live on Monday at 5 p.m. 6 ECT. Cavalier in action again against the Stars from the East, Harbour. And then on SportsMax 2 as well, Monday night, 7:30, 8:30 ECT, it's Mount Pleasant against the Junglists, Arnett Gardens. Back here at Sabina Park, Lynk Cup third place playoff. Harbourview, Dunbeholden, 0-0 after 45 minutes. How will this one go? Will the Stars from the East find a way? They are the pedigree team in this encounter. 5 times they have won the All-Ireland knockout competition, more than any other team. This time they have to settle for a possible third place. What can they come with? Or will it be Dunbeholden trying to get the better of Harbourview for the first time this season? Changes coming in. We spoke about Nicoy Christian, who was injured in the, and actually it isn't, it's Dwayne Smith with the jersey of Nicoy Christian. Well, that's a bit strange to see. So Dwayne Smith coming on for Tyrese Gow. And Philon Lawrence comes on for Timar Lewis. So Timar Lewis just playing the first 45 minutes. Dwight Jeremiah still with me. And you'd like to think that Timar Lewis will probably play a feature role. We just showed the promo for the semi-final first leg. Is that a situation where there's a rest that he would want Timar Lewis to get, because he's a possible starter on Monday. O'Shane Staple comes on for the second half as well. Staple will almost certainly be in the starting lineup for this semi-final.
Yeah, for sure. You feel that Coach Bernard would have seen enough from Lewis to feel okay, fine. He cut inside from that right side, did let fly, so maybe involved enough and getting some game time under his legs to get him sharp again. So I think, yeah, just you suspect you'll see him in that semi-final.
Well, of course, in the Lynk Cup, as I said, even though he's made wholesale changes, still important to keep some form of solidity and respect for the competition as well. So you're going to play a couple of senior players, Brackenridge, Lewis, etc. But as I said, not looking to give him more than 45 minutes.
Yeah,
doesn't want to risk injury and also wants to give some rest. O'Shane Staple comes in now, so he will have some work to do as well. But yeah, got to rest for the first 45 minutes.
Yeah, and Staple plays a pivotal role for Harbourview. Yeah, some would think that maybe he wouldn't have come in so early in this one, but as a player that is well conditioned, you feel, and you know, nobody goes up and down the flank as much as he does, or more than he does.
His wing is involved right away, actually playing on the left hand side today. Unusual. Sean Daly looking to get that on target, and again Chevoy Watkin is there.
So Harbourview just looking to, and I think a lot of that might have come against the backdrop that JBC Rudolph Speed just, you know, looking on. He knows he's going to play. He knows what he's seen of this Harbourview team is pretty much not going to be the team he faces on Monday. But just know his focus is on winning the Lynk Cup. He said he wants to win everything available to him.
Technical director at Cavalier, Rudolph Speed.
Shane Staple and number 21, Philon Lawrence.
As I said, looking on, we'll have that big matchup against Portmore, and he's never won this competition with all speed. He'd love to change that fact.
Certainly, like I said, he said he wants to win everything available to him, and he's certainly doing that. Said that the girl team of Cavalier was doing well. They lost in the final of their competition, so he wants to make the boys even more successful.
And as I said, almost also coming early to do his research on this Harbourview team. You'd already have known them pretty well, though. They've played twice in the regular season. Here goes Philon Lawrence in the wide areas. Exciting players, been in and out of this Harbourview team, Philon Lawrence, but no doubt about his potential in the attacking areas. And that's going to be easy for Palmer.
Yeah, Thomas just looking to put it in an area to say to McGregor and others, see if you can get onto the end of it, McGregor Barnett, but much too close to Palmer.
Shamari Dyer, one of the other experienced players who is usually in the starting lineup, who was used today. Shamari Dyer.
You can see with defenders being used a lot, they don't cover a lot of ground, especially the central defenders in going forward a lot, and as such maybe more rested than other outfield players.
And he is one of those players that Lula Bernard has used in various positions. Shamari Dyer is playing in the centre back role today, but has played as a defensive midfielder as well. We've a very similar position.
Yeah.
So the word coming in as well from the competition is that there will be no extra time if they are locked at 0-0 after 90 minutes.
Well, that's good then.
Straight penalties. Good for them.
Yeah, good for Coach Bernard if he was thinking about that. Well, maybe he would have known long before, but nobody wants to extend the third and fourth playing way into extra time. He would have gone to extra time in that semi-final against Portmore, which almost cost him in the second leg of the quarter-final of the JPL.
Yep, corner to Harbour View. Into the area, Watkin is there to deal with it. Good skill by Watkin as well. The break is on, but he only has McGregor ahead of him. Good pace this from Watkin. He's closed down eventually.
I felt he should have gone to McGregor at some point there. I mean, just try and get it to McGregor. I mean, the Harbour View players, the two defenders were coming towards him. McGregor, yes, had a little tracker, but try and get it through that part to McGregor. I think, you know, might fail in doing so, but certainly that's the best play that was on for him just now. He wanted to run all his way past 3-4 Harbour View players.
Good pass from Watkin. Forward, finding Douglas. Nice pass inside. Barnett is onside. Hasn't seen much of it in the 18-yard area. That's a lovely pass there to Thomas, and his first touch isn't good. The flag goes up. Thomas in an offside position.
Was it Thomas
don't think
or
so.
Barnett getting that wide?
Must have been Barnett initially.
Yeah.
Took long for the flag to go up though.
Or recognised.
Don't let that shirt fool you. That's not Nicoy Christian. He was offside, was Stephen Barnett. Why did the flag take so long to go up? Or Andrew Hayden just didn't see it. It was up early.
It was up early. Hayden probably didn't see it. That's why I said either earlier or was not seen in time. In the end though, the touch from Thomas Ricardo was poor.
Bit of an injury here to Malachi Douglas. Shoulder injury. I think they're just checking to make sure it's not dislocated. It doesn't seem that way, luckily for him. There's Brian Burkett, who is off the bench and getting instruction from Harold Thomas. Burkett, standout player in the Manning Cup with St. George's this season. Had some 16 goals for St. George's, Brian Burkett, even though his team wasn't really able to go deep into the competition. But very good player, can play as a second forward, can play in the wide areas as well. Hasn't really stamped his class at the senior level just yet. 12 assists to go with those 16 goals as well. Another opportunity for Ricardo Thomas to put the ball into the 18-yard area. Can it be a good delivery on this occasion? It isn't bad at all, and Palmer does well. So there will be no extra time if after 90 minutes these two can't break down each other. Straight penalties. This was a chance. Palmer was brave in coming out, and then like he made connection with Hodges. Just look here, you can see the shin making connection with Hodges and going over. But yeah, there will be straight penalties after this. Harbourview have already lost a penalty shootout in the semi-finals to Portmore United.
Yeah, 4-2 I think it was, but that was brave from Palmer to coming out here. It was decisive as well. Substitution coming out.
Yeah, Burkett comes on. So I'm early, and it is Douglas who is going to be replaced, Malachi Douglas. So hasn't fully recovered from that injury. And a chance for Brian Burkett. Let's see what kind of position he goes into. McGregor and Barnett still on the park, so you think Burkett will go into that. Maybe they'll switch to a diamond and Burkett will play at the top of the midfield, because they still have those two forwards, so who are central strikers. They don't really do well, either of those players, playing wide.
No, not at all.
So more players warming up as well for Dunbeholden. This their last game of the season. They'll want to end with a positive, and $250,000 more than Harbourview as well.
And really to see what they have, to final assessment of what we have and what we may need to add to the squad come next season. Jermaine Thomas did say they want to add some young players to what they have, see who may be surplus to requirements. So, you know, persons want to continue with Dunbeholden. They want to put on a good show here.
Yeah, can't say the show has been the best so far. The game has lacked intensity, but as this second half gets down to the critical stages, I'm sure both will be wanting to come away with the W.
Yeah, you feel the game, a goal in this one, and I think it could just liven up the old cliche. A goal really changes a lot in the game, and how much a goal does for a team or a game, massive.
Dunbeholden have been better than Harbourview in this second half. Still nothing to show though. Dwayne Smith wearing the shirt of Nicoy Christian, the number 11. I was a bit surprised that he was allowed to do that, considering the name was on the jersey.
Well, guess what? If he can get something out of that shirt from Christian in terms of the quality added to what he has, then we should see something good from him.
Here's Burkett with his first touch, looking for Watkin to make the run. Not necessarily the player you'd be wanting to see in forward position, Chevoy Watkin. And that will be a foul. Player to watch today for Harbourview, Romain Brackenridge, wearing the captain's armband, and he's done well so far in these 55 minutes. More defending for him and his team to do. Dunbeholden coming forward, nice build-up play, and it's into the back of the net from Siobhan James. Well, out of nothing, Dunbeholden get the go-ahead goal. We did say that the second half has been better from the St. Catherine-based team. And Siobhan James into the starting lineup for today and applying the finish. Nice team goal here. Allowed way too much space. It was Powell to James, back to James. Look at this 1-2 here, Dwight. Nice from James, the give and go. It was actually Dwayne Smith. Well, you said getting something out of that shirt, eh?
Yes.
It's the assist shirt. Nicoy Christian, the leading assist maker from last season with 14. He is wearing the shirt and he provides the assist.
Well, lovely goal there from Dunbeholden. They were the better team in the second half, as you rightfully said. And the game needed a goal. We've been lamenting that. Came on cue just now, seconds after we said a goal could make a difference, and Harbourview will now have to come out and play. Dunbeholden would have something to defend, and as such the intensity we expect to go up a notch here.
Well, here's something more for you. That's the first assist of the season for Dwayne Smith. So the shirt certainly working. You called it.
Dunbeholden will be happy for the goal. Something to defend.
Christian may say he wants 50%.
And quite rightly so.
Here he is again, Smith. Well, he's finding passes all over the park. This one is blocked. Dunbeholden have looked much more interested in the second half than Harbourview. No surprise. considering this is their last opportunity to get something favourable for the season.
And I think Coach Bernard was a little bit disappointed towards with Bracken, which didn't track the run of James there in terms of ball pass close to him, but by the time he looked around, James was away from him. So
I think what you'd be most disgruntled about was the space in the midfield
to carry that ball into that 18 or on the top of it.
Here is Thomas into the near post, cleared away. Yeah, there's no way in the middle of the park you could allow so much space for
without being engaged. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, for James. Yeah, so should have been closed down earlier. His defensive midfielders are backing off, and as you said, when you welcome a team to your 18-yard area, you're asking for trouble, and trouble it was.
Yeah. And despite his change in terms of those who are playing out there for Harbourview, yeah, I would expect them to deal with that much better. That's
so it almost exposed Brackenridge.
Yeah.
Shane Staple coming on as a substitute, going on one of those easy runs, but cut down. So 1-0 Dunbeholden. A Chevron James goal after 57 minutes. Can Dunbeholden find a victory over Harbourview for the first time this season? 2-0 and 4-1 wins before this for Harbourview. And let's not forget, they beat them in the final last season as well, Harbourview. Bad challenge, Burkett brought. Well, it goes against Burkett for the use of the arm. Daly, that's wasteful from Daly.
Yeah, really no one arriving in the box there for him to have aimed at. Probably needed to hold it up a little bit more, probably drive past that one defender who came to engage him until others arrived. I think he had just had one player in the box to look at. I think it was just Mullins who was there.
Nice move by Smith to find Barnett. Smith has had some good passing in the middle of the park since coming on, but that delivery is disappointing yet again from the Dunbeholden wide area. Slow to come off his line is Hyatt, and he was nearly exposed. He took way too long. Indecisive was Damien Hyatt. Did eventually execute the save, but it's come at a price.
See what cost that will be here. We'll have another look at it here.
Over the top, Kemar Mullins was in business, but yeah, the pass initially, Hyatt needed to come right away, but almost allowed Mullins. Look at it here. Hyatt has to make the decision here to close it, but allows Mullins to almost get in. Does it in the end, but there's a collision.
A tad bit later, and he might be.
He was lucky.
Probably, giving away a penalty with how late he would have arrived there. But I think there's two shin coming together.
Changes being made now. Stephen Barnett is off. Romain Bowers comes on. And well, Chevoy Watkin is also removed. And the shirt of Dean Andre Thomas, but it is not actually him, it's Roshane Taylor who is on. So I guess Taylor not having a shirt of his own in the Lynk Cup. Dean Andre Thomas, a player not part of the squad, as we see Bowers coming on for Barnett.
Yeah, Barnett.
Two defensive change. Well, we'll see more defensive because Barnett coming on. Bowers not actually a forward. Will play probably in the middle of the park, Bowers.
Probably just have five there and have McGregor up on his own.
Yeah, I think so. And then maybe Bird Kit play as the second forward.
Yeah, more like an SS supporting striker.
He'll be a floater, Burkett. They do have the lead Dunbeholden, so maybe more about solidifying the middle of the park. Here's Bowers trying to make his presence felt right away. That's out of play.
There were just too much. That's poor. I mean, that's a simple 5-yard pass for Staple to run onto, and didn't execute that one.
Burkett.
Double substitution in the 63rd minute for the Dunbeholden team. So number 17 and 18 in Garnet, that has been walked in, being replaced by number 8, Romain Bauer, and number 10, Rochelle Taylor. Substitutions completed in the 63rd minute. It's Dunbeholden 1, Harbour 0.
Not seen a significant up in tempo from Harbourview, and not providing a lot of threat in that attacking third.
Yeah, Dunbeholden will just sit back now and
make
enjoy
it difficult
possession.
for Harbourview to break them down.
And enjoy possession because, yeah, no need, they have the lead. Paul with it, does well. And they slow it down again. Burkett shows good skill and he's cut down. That's going to be a card. And Jameson will go into the book. Second play I make it for Harbourview to go into the book.
Yeah, following Green, who is off the park. Yeah, really late there. Good skill from Burkett.
Just allowing the ball to come further. Sold him with
to go inside the dummy
body shake.
Yeah.
Caution. Going to Harbourview's number 20, Jameson.
Harold Thomas and Jermaine Thomas coming up with their own strategy. Their second half tactics have worked. They have the 1-goal advantage. Harold Thomas, of course, the technical director, was the man in charge of it all last season as we see the water break. Jermaine Thomas now coming in for his first season.
I think they were talking just now about the channel runs.
We are coming numbers. So now when we are go forward, you make the run. You cannot? Yes.
Yeah, or Thomas saying that he needs McGregor to make those run into the channel.
And Jermaine Thomas just bringing it across to Peter McGregor. Hasn't had a lot going on at all, McGregor, in this game so far, even though he had a couple of headers. But truth be told, the supply hasn't really been there. Even Barnett, for example, before coming off.
I tell Harold is trying to suggest that if he makes the run, then maybe shows them where he wants, or they will pass it to, so he'll be better served. Sometimes persons will talk about lack of support or service, but they're static or they're not really running.
Well, he has pulled wide
channels
on quite a few occasions, to give him credit, Peter McGregor. You do remember him coming off on the right side, cutting in onto the left and shooting.
Yeah,
he
that's
has
coming wide, but he's talking about
the
that channel, which I think is that half space making that run into, that Harold Thomas was probably pointing out.
Their problem is not much creativity in the middle of the park. So when you do get into those half spaces, you have to have that kind of player who's going to be able to pick it. I guess Dwayne Smith on a couple of occasions since coming on has tried to do that, and that has looked a little bit better. But with no Nicoy Christian, they're lacking in that aspect. McGregor coming a bit deeper, and that will be a free kick. You'd have to say probably a sensible challenge from Shepherd there, just before McGregor could have gotten any further.
When I look at it, probably, yeah, it might have been a clumsy one too as well, but yeah, certainly realizing that McGregor was going to get away from him.
Maybe lucky to stay out of the book as well. As did get pretty high on the leg of McGregor. Some way out. Maybe about, that would make that almost, that's at least 30 yards. There's going to be a change for Harbourview as well. Mullins feeling a bit of a niggle, and he's going to be substituted, Kemar Mullins. And on comes Javier Lynch, former Jamaica College forward. Lynch.
Yeah, Mullins not so much of a presence in the opening 70 minutes that he's been on the park. See what Lynch will provide. Just make a little bit more robustness and mobility up front.
Towards the back post, nice delivery. And maybe a lack of communication. Hodges went for it, but O'Dane Samuels was in a better position behind him. The delivery was from Burkett. Or was it? But
it could have been Burkett, yeah.
I do think that Hodges should have left it for Samuels. Did Samuels call him though? Look at this. This is a nice delivery. O'Dane Samuels in a much better position.
Would have had to call him though,
yeah,
because Hodges was backpedaling.
And he turned to Hodges to say, look, but maybe he did call and he just wasn't heard. But Hodges, that ball was too high for him. He was never going to be.
And back in a way, it's going to be difficult for him to redirect that one on goal as well.
Samuels didn't even, based on the trajectory, didn't necessarily have to take it on the head. He could have probably brought it down on the chest.
Because it was falling when it, yeah.
Cleared out of players. Harbourview tried to find the answer. They have 20 minutes to do so. This would be a nice way for Dunbeholden to end their season. Never got this far before. In fact, this is the first time they are competing in the All-Ireland knockout competition. And to grab third place would be looked at as a positive for sure, as Lynch wins his team a corner. Harbourview, they're used to winning this competition, so third place for them, or playing in this match at all, would probably be a disappointment. Daly towards the near post. I'm not sure why Hyatt didn't just hold it for the punch, Hyatt, and the ball was already out of play, so it will be a goal kick. But that was a bit strange from Damien Hyatt, who has had some strange moments, I must say, right throughout the course of this 2023 season. Yeah.
Probably just wanted to make it look a bit more spectacular than it needed to be.
Scrappy comes through now to McGregor. McGregor with space, but he's being watched by Brackenridge. McGregor does well. Shouldn't have probably cut on to the left foot there. McGregor did get the space when he moved away from Brackenridge, but anyhow outnumbered, and they get it out in the end. Good recovery from the captain.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Really good recovery. Just managed to get himself between McGregor and the ball, and that made it very, very difficult for McGregor to get onto the end of that one. Just cut back inside McGregor. Felt that his right foot shot would have been blocked.
Corner for Dunbeholden. Can they add to their lead? Dwayne Smith will take it. Smith, not a bad delivery, chance, and headed over the top from the captain, Ricardo Thomas. Palmer was trying to make it difficult for him, and he did. But he would be disappointed that he didn't hit the target, Ricardo Thomas.
Yeah, twice he had served up ball in the first half to McGregor. No, he was on the end of a ball played into the box, and his
jump was a bit early, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So he was on his way down when he made contact. Look at this.
Look here.
Yeah, he was on his way down. Needed more
so was
time
not in
there.
Control at the time, yeah. So probably was static as well. It's needed. Maybe he was backing off and getting onto it, but jumping from a static position, then yeah, stationary position, then that was always going to be difficult, and probably better time when you run onto it.
Foul by Sean Daly. Free kick. 75 minutes. Almost complete. Dunbeholden. A goal to the good. Chevon James after 57 minutes. The pass from Dwayne Smith, the substitute. Chevon James there. Their number 13. Getting on the score sheet. Hasn't scored in the league this season, has James. And he'll be pleased with that goal. That's the difference at this point. And they're looking for more. Ricardo Thomas, that was ambitious to say the least. Way out. And he hasn't really shown that kind of quality from that distance this season.
Yeah, Palmer would have to turn his back and probably be distracted by something to be beaten from that distance there. And that was never threatening goal anyway. Coach Bernard did say that he wasn't so concerned about the result in his pre-game interview, saying it's more performances that he was looking at from players, individual players, just to see if persons would hold their hand up to say, I'm an option in this.
And who has shown that for him? Who would have caught his eye, you feel, from a Harbour View perspective? Anybody?
I think for sure, because even in the last
Staple. Well, similar to Ricardo Thomas.
Even in the last game, I felt Tamar Lewis, he always laments that Tamar Lewis is a player that he feels needs to be involved more in his games, because he can add so much and give him different dimension and stuff like that. In that first half, I think he was satisfied with what he would have seen from Tamar Lewis there, you see. So was brought off in the first 45 minutes. Did have a shot that hit the crossbar as well. As the game went on, grew into the game, Tamar, and was more presence in it. So I think that would be pleasing for him as well.
Okay, but Tamar Lewis almost certainly, I figure, will be in that starting lineup. So I was more asking for players who you took a cup out there, Dwight. You were telling me about a player who was one of the couple senior players who were playing,
but not one that in recent
Tamar Lewis
weeks
is going to start, I think.
Yeah, but in recent week was not up to speed, as Coach Bernard had said in interviews as well, and did say after a game that he needs to find a way to stay in the game and be more involved in the game, but he wants to sharpen him up.
But he's staying in the game, I think, from Bernard's perspective, as we see a whistle on the play from Andrea Hayden, was more about post first half, like from say 45 minutes up to maybe about 60, which is the same issue he has had with Christopher J. Daly, for example, like in and around that time.
That was in a game or two. Before that too, I think Tamar was out of the starting lineup at one point as well.
But I want to know more about the players who you think, like a lot of the fringe players who have come in who wouldn't be in the starting lineup initially. You think anybody might have caught his eye and are really making the task difficult?
I mean, when you look at that first half,
far.
No, I didn't see much in terms of that. I mean, Burton had a shot early in that game, didn't really do much after that. Green, no, I didn't see
nobody
much.
Has really
not has really put their hands up and say, I can be here.
And that's what you would be hoping, because yes, there's not much in the game, as you say, for Harbour View, more than a difference in terms of financial stuff, an extra $250,000 as free kick in a dangerous position. But because these players don't normally start, you would think in the minds of these players, it's a really good opportunity to say, hey, coach, we have a semi-final coming up, but look at what I can do. But you're right in that the intensity just hasn't been there, and nobody has really shown themselves.
And even after the goal, no response from these players in terms of wanting to say, hey, let me up it a little bit, let me go on and see if I can put my name up in lights and get onto the score sheet, or provide an assist to say, look, in that difficult moment, I'm someone you can call on.
So Lynch winning a free kick there just outside of the 18, so maybe 22 yards out.
If you sum up that discussion, then not much learned by Lord Bernard out of this game.
No, that's my point, that he would probably be saying to some of these players, well, look, you just went through the motions, and this was an opportunity for you to say, look, I probably deserve a place over X, Y, or Z. Free kick, Harbour View. Is this the moment for them to draw level? Not bad, but over the top. And not troubling Damien Hyatt either, the 37-year-old who spent so much of his career at Arnett Gardens. 10 seasons he played for the Junglists, Damien Hyatt. He's been at Dunbeholden since 2021 and was a big part of their trip to the final last year. Almost 300 appearances in the Jamaica Premier League in his career, Damien Hyatt, and did win titles at Harbour, at Arnett Gardens as well.
They do say goalkeeper get better with age, but as you said, some suspect moments from him this season.
Last season, I thought he was really good. I thought when there was at the start of last season, I thought he was a bit out of shape physically. Worked hard at his game, and I thought his agility had really improved again. It's always been a big unit, Damien had, but I thought he had done a lot of fitness work, and it showed. And it showed in his goalkeeping. He made some remarkable saves last season. This season, I don't really think it's been an issue with agility for the most part, but his handling has been a little bit off at times, and some bizarre attempts. Anyhow, his team now have an opportunity. Burkett, good pass into the area, and it can't be finished. It was hit right down the middle. Was it Powell who was coming in with the finish? And from point blank range, that needed to be better. McGregor now with a header over the top.
Yeah, it's the third header from McGregor. Just one on target.
Is it Dwayne Smith? I think it's Dwayne Smith. Here is Burkett on the overlap. At first it looked like Burkett should have shot. That's a lovely pass, you know. And who was it that was attacking the box? It's Bowers.
Yeah.
Bowers who was coming in, and that should have been a better finish. Yes, he was under pressure, but
look at it again here.
Got to pick a corner inside the 6-yard box. Look at this now. Straight
I think he was
down the
always
throat.
under pressure as well. I just think defender tracking back there might have just gotten,
but that finish can't go down the middle though.
No, not at all, but might have been put off by that challenge as well, which caused it. He did look like he was going across goal anyway with a side foot.
Well, the finish was too soft, but I would like to say if Palmer had made a save either right or left
as well,
if he had made a save either right or left, then I could say yes, but that finish was straight down the center of the goal, which was always going to make it easier for Palmer.
And that I agree with. I'm just saying that give the defender some credit there. I think he did recover and got something on it as well.
From behind?
Yeah,
okay.
Got something on the ball. Had to time that to perfection.
Yeah.
And not even Staple coming onto the park has been able to give Harbour View that lift.
Just outside of the 18-yard from Dyer. Brings down McGregor. 8 minutes to go in the third place playoff. Dunbeholden with a 1-goal advantage. Chevron James.
And maybe back to your question too, as you see the substitution coming up with the goalkeeper, I'm going to touch goalkeeper for Harbour View, Palmer. Maybe you talk about a player that might have, he hasn't done anything wrong, you'd feel. He has come out, been brave a lot of times, or decisive. Palmer for Harbour View. Yeah, so for me, he's one that might say, look, I was in between the sticks before that second leg semi-finals, doing well, so I'm still an option. Good option for you, Coach Bernard.
Yeah, I agree. He has been solid in this game. Hasn't been called on a lot. So the change is being made. Damian Hyatt will make way. And Miller, Gary Miller is a substitute goalkeeper. He's wearing the jersey.
I think Dunbeholden gives you a lot of trouble today with different names.
Gary Miller coming on for Damian Hyatt to get in a few minutes. His team does have a lead as well. And they also have a free kick in a very dangerous position. I think Burkett will certainly be eyeing up this with the left foot. This suits him in terms of angles and does have quality from this kind of range. What can a teenager do? Burkett takes a deflection and goes over. Not enough pace behind that, I thought, to beat Palmer anyhow, had it not taken the deflection. But it was heading on target.
Yeah, it looked like he would have had it covered, you feel, though.
Ricardo Thomas with the corner. His deliveries have been inconsistent today, and there's another example. Brackenridge has had a good game in the back line for Harbourview. So did Shafari Watkin before he was taken off.
I feel like Lawrence there just giving that ball away.
Thomas into the area, to the back post, too much on it. McGregor can't take it down. Good run though by McGregor. He's been given the full game to work. Peter McGregor still yet to get on the score sheet. His coach, this man, Jermaine Thomas, knows him very well. Coached him at McGrath in 2019 when they went all the way to the semi-finals of the Da Costa Cup. Peter McGregor,
and
he was a star player for them.
To Sweden after that.
Was the captain, Peter McGregor, and wore the number 10 for McGrath. As I say, a nice move to Sweden and then coming back to the Premier League with a bang. 2022. Chance for Harbourview. Shane Staple, who's been known to cause a lot of trouble from that kind of area, has a good shot on him. We don't see as many of them with the left foot though.
Coming down the left side, I was about to say that. You'd more see in recent times, we see Hardin scoring from that side or winning penalties for Harbourview coming down that left side. Staple more from the right side, letting fly most often.
You wonder if it was an experiment from Ludlow Bernard to put O'Shane Staple on the left hand side instead of the right, to see how he could manage, because he plays right back right throughout the season for Harbourview.
Yeah,
so
but most times when we see Hardin comes off the field, I've seen a couple of times this season he has shifted Staple to the left and bring on a different right back to work in that area. So, or if he has 5 at the back, then he pulls off Hardin, then
so he has
Brackenridge outside right and then Staple to the left.
Lousy pass there, but it's broken up, understandably so. The captain giving it away. Now Harbourview.
Just not have been able to string the passes together, really.
Here's Lawrence looking to make a difference and commits the foul. Dunbeholden 3.5 minutes away from claiming this 3rd place in the Lynk Cup. All-Ireland knockout competition. $1,050,000 for the 3rd place winner, 800,000 for who finishes 4th. And at this point, the team from the parish of St. Catherine, Dunbeholden, with the advantage.
Still a big takeaway for 4th as well, 800,000, not too far off, and good for the competition that down to 3rd place will walk away with over $1 million.
Yeah, lots of money put into this competition from Lynk. Do remember the winner will receive 1.6 million. That's what Cavalier and Portmore will be playing for. 1.4 for the runners-up. Here go Harbourview. They're not going to go away silently in this 3rd place playoff. But yeah, lots of money being pumped in. In fact,
extra $250,000 not enough for Ludwig to go to his bench for a Daly or a Stewart or others on the bench. Doesn't think so. Or Murray. Yeah, just feels like, okay, you know what? Let's just take this 800,000 with a little bit of risk.
Siobhan James has been the only goal scorer in this one so far, and he will be $5,000 better off. $5,000 for each goal scored.
Yeah.
In the Lynk Cup, so his purse has increased, and of course at this point probably the difference maker in this one has played a full game, Siobhan James.
Yeah, I think there has been good though.
You think he's
Watkins,
a real candidate for the man of the match? Watkins was good. Did pick up that yellow card and has been substituted since. But yeah, Watkins, some really telling defensive work in the back line. He was actually the best player for me before he came off.
Yeah,
for Dunbeholden.
And I think scoring the goal. Yes, it was a deep, lovely pass. I don't think he could have missed. Yes, but he made the run through.
When he started to play Siobhan James from the middle of the park.
Yeah.
Then the 1-2 with Dwayne Smith.
But allowed to run, you feel. Allowed to run a lot, wasn't engaged, and you feel. But for Watkins,
there's your centre back.
I'm feeling like I would want to see him. I think he was the best player for me today overall, in terms of when the Harbour View was probably more of a threat in this game. He was ever present,
and they have still managed the clean sheet up to this point.
Yeah. So you feel
but those two players were the two standout players.
I think he has set the platform for Dunbeholden to go on and get that winner in the end.
Yeah. Watkins very good in the first half, especially with his defensive work. The man who will have the telling moment, though, they do say the hardest thing to do in football is to score goals. And Siobhan James
but I think
might be the difference between 800,000 and 1,050,000.
Yeah, I agree, but I still think Watkins is my man.
Can't disagree with you there. Harbour View looking to make it more difficult. Chance inside the area, and Miller is off the line and gets it done in the end. That was a nice delivery into the area. Was it from Burton, this man?
Yeah, 4 minutes there, confirmed by the fourth official.
The 90 minutes have now elapsed and we're into stoppage time. That's a high foot from Dyer. Gets away with it. Now the break is on. That should have been left for Burkitt from Bowers. And Bowers is ridiculous with his pass. That was a poor move from Romain Bowers.
Trying to pick out McGregor, he says.
But Burkitt already had the momentum going forward. It was coming on his left-hand side as well.
Agree.
You've got to leave that alone and allow Burkitt to go into the 18-yard box.
I mean, they had numbers up. This was 3 against 1 at one stage there.
Good play by Ricardo Thomas just to free the space, change direction.
Yeah, Harbour View here now trying to see if they can send us to an excitement of penalties.
Here's Dyer. There will be no extra time if they do find the equaliser. Straight penalties in this one. There's a bench of Dunbeholden. They're happy of the two. Craig Richards as well, the assistant coach, one of the assistant coaches. His team doing some defending. They need to keep their concentration right through. Still about 2.5 minutes to go.
Can't seem to get distance or purchase on their clearance. Going out for a throw twice. I see Jermaine Thomas on the sideline. Just wanted to get that clearance into the half of Harbour View. Again, they look to launch it forward. Harbour View looking for route 1 now.
Broken up. Good defensive work by Ricardo Thomas. He's been at both ends of the park, the captain. His deliveries for me, though, has been a bit disappointing in this game, even though his work rate has been excellent.
Yeah, just had one good one that in the first half where he sent it on to McGregor, who headed over.
Yeah, McGregor is still on the park as well. Here he is. Gives it away, though. Need to keep the ball, do Dunbeholden. Now Lynch. Oh, and he loses his footing, Lynch.
Just at the critical moment, you feel. And the captain Brackenridge was on the other side, just saying, you probably didn't need that. Just pass it over to me.
Couple players down. Burkett also has won a free kick. Good work.
Holding on to his shoulder, Lynch.
It was an awkward slide, and this doesn't look good here for Lynch. Just wonder if he dislocated the shoulder, because it's a natural action now for the hand to go down. Just look at it here. Ooh.
Yeah.
Overextended the right shoulder, I think it is.
Probably needs a popping back in.
Oh, I hope it's not dislocated for him. Hasn't moved it just yet. I myself have suffered from a dislocated shoulder. I cannot. Of all the injuries I've had, I must tell you, the dislocation, the most painful of them all.
See.
And the longer it's out, is the staler it gets, the more painful it is. It's essential to get back that dislocated joint back in quickly.
Yeah. I've never had that though, but I've had players who've had that. For me, the worst thing has been, a shattered ankle. Had to get bone plates and pins. That's never nice. But a common one you see in football. So is a dislocation as well. In football. Here is Lynch. He's still hanging the shoulder a bit. I'm just wondering, it might actually be, it looks like it's out of position. It's out of the socket there. Is it? Looks that way.
Well, maybe not. I saw a bump at the back, which kind of made it seem as if it was out, because what does happen is that the arm falls slightly below the joint. Ooh, that's going to be very sore. And it does look like it, if it's not fully out, it's partially out.
Daly there just faking but holding back.
So
it definitely look like Dunbeholden are going to end up being third here.
The time has elapsed. He's been called to the sideline. Is Andrew Hayden. Not sure what's happening.
Foot official Farquharson.
Somebody on the bench is getting out of hand. He goes to the back pocket. Not sure what was said. Jermaine Thomas is given the red card.
Well, showing Thomas that it is for, he said, showed Thomas the red card and said, that's for the player who has left the bench.
Well, it's not a player either, is it? It's part of the management
team.
So, not sure why that's necessary at this point, especially with the 1-goal advantage that you have, and time has elapsed.
Me thinking that it should have blown the whistle already or something like that.
Third place playoff is at an end. Dunbeholden have gotten the better of Harbour for the first time this season after 2-0 and 4-1 losses to the Stars of the East. They come away with the third place prize at Dunbeholden. Siobhan James after 57 minutes with the winner. A nice build-up play between himself and Dwayne Smith means that Harold Thomas gets the better of Ludlow Bernard for the first time in 4 attempts. Dunbeholden 1, Harbourview 0 after 90 minutes. They are the third place team, Dunbeholden, in the 2023 Lynk Cup. Andrew Hayden, the man with the whistle. Harbourview in their blue and yellow coming forward. Gavin Burton from some distance, dipping at the last moment, made it awkward for Damien Hyatt. But he got all of his big frame behind it to execute the save. Then Dunbeholden putting together a play of their own. This is probably the best of their first half opportunities. Ricardo Thomas into Peter McGregor. Didn't get much of the head, it's got some of the shoulder as well. And needed a better finish from the big number 9. Pulling wide now onto the right hand side. Good skill to cut it onto the left foot, but it was a weak finish from Peter McGregor, who hasn't scored since their round of 16 game against Treasure Beach. Timar Lewis would hit the frame of the goal with a nice left-footed strike, cutting in onto his favoured leg. Had Damien Hyatt beaten, but a little bit too high and coming off the top of the crossbar. Then an opportunity for Dunbeholden. Chevon James. It'll be better yet for him in this third place playoff, but that header was just wide. Then Thomas into the air, finding the head of Peter McGregor yet again, but McGregor unable to apply the finish. Did score on this very same ground from that same kind of position, Peter McGregor, in last year's Premier League playoffs, not to be today. Sean Daly over the top, a smile from this, and then the moment for Dunbeholden. Second half action. Chevon James gave him way too much space, played the 1-2 with Dwayne Smith and converted his first of this competition into the near post. 1-0 Dunbeholden. Craig Richards approves, the assistant coach, and their number 13 finding the goal that mattered. Ricardo Thomas with an opportunity but didn't time his header very well, and it went over the bar. Dunbeholden certainly played better in the second half and probably should have had more goals. This should have been one of them. Burkett inside to Romain Bowers, who came on as a substitute. Both substitutes linking up, and from 6 yards out couldn't place it right or left of Romario Palmer. He executed the save and it was kept at 1-0. Defensive work for Dunbeholden, and they did a good job of keeping out Harbour View. 90 minutes elapsed and Dunbeholden through Chevon James with a 1-0 win. Just 3 on target from 12 attempts for Harbour View. Dunbeholden, they only had 3 as well, but they made it count from 13. 27 fouls between both these teams and 4 yellow cards shown, 2 to each. 3 saves made by Dunbeholden, 2 from Romario Palmer between the sticks for Harbour View. He couldn't make the essential one from the boot of Chevon James. Majority of the possession for Dunbeholden. They finished third in the Lynk Cup with a 1-0 victory over Harbour View. Let's hear from our man of the match, who is with Dwight Jeremiah.
Watkins, good game today. What a good way to end the season for you in terms of winning this game. How do you feel?
I feel great because we didn't make it to the semi-final Premier League, so we came back and we just have to try and get the third place position.
Normally a very good defender throughout. I always admire watching you. Don't lose your duels. Today was another good day for you as well at the back, but at some point you get flustered. What was it with you and the referee?
It was obvious that the ball didn't go, but he says that the ball go outside. But we wanted to win because we have a bad season from the start, so we just want to have a good ending.
That's $1,050,000 to the good. That's a lot for you with your efforts today in terms of that. So congratulations on the win today, and all the best.
Thank you.
Coach Bernard, you said the result didn't really matter to you, so I'm not going to dwell on that. Did you see anything from the performance to say to you, here are some players that I can turn to?
I saw some things both ways. But as I said, it was important for me that I got certain players on the pitch. Whenever we're going to the other games, going forward, I need to know exactly what it is that I have in store. I'm pretty satisfied with some of the selections, you know. Probably we still have a little time to really get some persons up. It is very obvious that young Priestley is not up for it just yet. But there are a couple others out there who really did stand out, you know, and who probably I would have expected.
I take a pick at your goalkeeper, Palmer, in goal for you today. He was in that first leg quarter-final, replaced in the second leg. Did he do enough today for you to have a little headache?
I told the group earlier today that I'll make that selection tomorrow. His presence on the pitch and his performance is very critical towards my decision. I think he did fairly well, and of course we'll come back tomorrow. He's full of confidence, you know, but as I said, any number can play on Monday.
Well, on Monday you'll be playing Cavaliers, sticking around to see what they will look like.
Oh, definitely, definitely. You know, as a I have to sit and probably observe not only the players but also the coach, because I think this will be a game coach versus coach.
Okay, well, hopefully you see what you want to see. Well,
thank you very much.
Yeah, okay.
Good.
Thomas here, Jermaine Thomas in our shot. Yeah, smiling for the win, and I think for the purse as well. How happy are you for the victory today?
I mean, very, very elated. I think we worked really hard. We really needed this one. We are coming off a really, really bad patch. Again, 4 in 7 days or 10 it's rough anywhere in the world. But the guys stood up today and they played well.
Which aspect of your team performance today you were most pleased with?
I think defensively we were good. I mean, most of the second and first balls were getting to them, and I thought playing over from the back. Sometimes we're a bit careless, but we got it right in the second half, and it paid off.
You did make some changes in that second half. Have a few players come on. Is it a case where you saw some players that you brought on that looks good to work with going forward in terms of as you look to rebuild your squad?
Yeah, man, definitely. They would have been with us for the longest while. Most of the players would have gone through a tough period. So I mean, injecting some fresh legs today. I mean, you saw it paid off, and I think Harbour you made some change. We made some, and we were able to cancel them by doing that.
You are much richer today as a club. Well, congratulations on your third place in the
Yeah, man,
Cup.
thanks much.
All right,
yeah.
There you have it.
So Dunbeholden are the third place team in the 2023 Lynk Cup. They're $1,050,000 richer as well. They get the better of 5-time champions Harbour. 1-0 for third place in the Lynk Cup.